Before we get started, I want to thank Established Titles for sponsoring today's video.
It seemed like everyone and their mother was advertising Established Titles this year.
Established Titles is essentially your express route to becoming a lord or a lady. They offer land in Scotland, plots as small as 1 square foot, and you can purchase this 1 square foot of land, and well, by Scottish historic customs, as a landowner, you now technically become a lord or lady. This is the Established Titles plot in Edelston, Scotland. Yes, that's Lord Wavy Webster if you're speaking to. Now, I think it goes without saying an established title is an amazing gift item. I mean, imagine the look on your friend or family member's face when you bust out the certificate and inform them of their newfound lordship. Hell, with an established title, you could officially include the title Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane ticket, dating profiles, etc. It makes a great last-minute gift for this reason alone. And after you bestow them lordship, they can even check out exactly where their plot of land is using Established Titles' website. And not only are you getting a great gift item with Established Titles, you're also helping the environment. Established Titles has committed to plant 1 tree for every order they receive as a part of their mission to protect the pristine woodland areas of Scotland. Established Titles works with global charities 1 Tree Planted and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. You're giving people lordships, having fun, and helping the wilderness all at the same time. Right now, Established Titles has a massive Black Friday sale going on.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. We're going to be examining these lord title scams that you see people advertising for on the YouTube. It is a legit scam, so look out. And I'm sorry if you already got taken from it. I'm sorry if you already got taken by it before, but you need to do your research. You also need to understand people on YouTube that are advertising stuff for you to sign up and buy, you know, they don't care anything about you genuinely, you know. They just care about getting money. So they'll sell pretty much whatever just to get your money, so they don't have to go to work like the rest of us. So you might want to beware that kind of thing.
To find the facts, to answer some of the crazy accusations.
Is it illegal? Well,
you aren't actually buying any land at all. Because in the video, they don't prove anything. There is no proof given whatsoever to, you know, deny any of the claims I made in my video, or Legal made in his video. It's an absolute train wreck for this channel. So
see, the reason we did this is because we have done ads for Established Titles on our channel over the past year or so, and they've been a great partner of ours. And some of the accusations that we're seeing are saying, oh, they're a scam, they're taking people's money, and we need to know whether that's true or not.
Now these guys are they've been involved in a lot of controversies over the years, so it's really no surprise to me that they would actually double down and actually continue to back Established Titles.
And the first 200 people that purchase a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot. Together we can build.
We think they've been a great partner, and why we think their product and service is actually something kind of cool. And the best way to do that, like I said, was to come all the way to the other side of the world, to Scotland, and head on up to the 1 square foot piece of land that I purchased through Established Titles to make myself a lord.
is it a scam? Yes. Is it illegal? Maybe. Established Titles has taken over YouTube. Extremely prominent YouTubers have run sponsorships for the company, and the money was flowing. Like many YouTubers, I had been approached repeatedly about running an Established Titles sponsorship.
If it's no Scottish, it's crap!
I declined because it didn't make much sense to me and started researching my own video on the topic.
You want to feel high and like you're a somebody, just get you a little title there so you can be called Lord. And then everybody's going to look up and worship you. How little you gotta be to need one of these to feel better in life? Or does people just have too much money nowadays?
Even if it's not outright illegal, it's terrible for creators at large. Some creators, in the wake of apologizing for running an Established Titles sponsorship, have admitted that they will basically take any sponsorship that comes their way.
I get a sponsorship opportunity for almost anything, I'm gonna take it.
And that's the creator's right. They can run whatever sponsorship they want to, or decide not to run whatever sponsorship they want to. But the thing is, it hurts the entire creator economy, because when very prominent YouTubers promote crap, everyone assumes that all the sponsorships are crap. And I've seen lots of comments to the effect that the viewer just automatically assumes that everything any YouTuber promotes is just dreck. And
This is pretty much the reason that I wouldn't do sponsorships if I'd ever been asked to do one, which no, I haven't. I got a tiny channel, but if it ever gets to there, No, I'm not open for advertising opportunities or any of that. Any products I ever show on my channel or anything that I'm using, it's because I bought it with my own hard-earned money because I work a regular job to support me and my family. So I'm not a e-bummer looking for you to support me. I work a regular 40-plus hour a week job. YouTube's what I do with my extra time if I really have any of that. But I take time out of my own personal life and my family of 7 to make content to help you. But I don't expect to really earn any money from it. Yeah, I do have some of my videos are monetized that don't have to do with God or religion. Like this one here might be monetized. But I don't really earn that much money at all. Like sometimes $100 to $200 a month. It's not really a paycheck. Just helps put a little more extra groceries on the table kind of thing. But I don't see my YouTubers as a mark to make money off of. I'm genuinely just trying to help you guys because I love y'all.
Established Titles owns less than 200 acres of land in rural Scotland. Their website says that you can buy a dedicated 1 foot by 1 foot square souvenir plot of land from them, and it also states that you can, quote, become a lord or lady today. They say that their packages are, quote, based on a historic Scottish land ownership custom where landowners have been long referred to as lairds, the Scottish term for lord, with the female equivalent being lady. Can you become a lord or lady through purchasing Scottish land, novelty, or otherwise? No, not like this. Now, first off, I am not a lawyer in the UK or a barrister or a solicitor or an advocate or any of the other strange words that they use in the ridiculous English legal system. The entire idea of nobility or listening to anything that this guy says is silly and, quite frankly, un-American. But there is an authority on this particular ridiculous subject. That is the Court of the Lord Lion, which deals with all matters relating to Scottish heraldry and coats of arms. And that court said, quote, ownership of a souvenir plot of land does not bring with it the right to any description such as laird, lord, or lady. Laird is not a title, but a description applied by those living on and around the estate, many of whom will derive their living from it, to the principal landowner of a long-named area of land. It will, therefore, be seen that it is not a description which is appropriate for the owner of a normal residential property. It cannot properly be used to describe a person who owns a small part of a larger piece of land. The term laird is not one recognizable by attachment to a personal name, and thus there is no official recognition of XY laird of Z. The words lord and lady apply to those on whom peerage has been confirmed and do not relate to the ownership of land. Ownership of a souvenir plot of land is not sufficient to bring a person otherwise ineligible within the justification of the Lord Lion for seeking a coat of arms. But what about that historic Scottish land ownership custom that Established Titles talks about? Well, that's just wrong too. A representative of the Court of Lord Lion stated in response to another Established Titles style company, quote, the title Laird of Glencairn would only apply to the owner of the entire estate if it exists, not those buying 1 foot portions of it. Now, you can become a lord or lady through inheritance or marriage or royal decree, but not from a Black Friday sale from Established Titles. A monarch can give a person a peerage such as a duke, marquess, earl, viscount, or baron, and sometimes people with hereditary titles sell them usually because they have financial problems. These titles sell for tens of thousands of dollars.
The video they released is actually 24 minutes long. We're going to respond to some of the issues with the video. And I do have to say the good majority of the video, I'm going to estimate about 70% of it, is them just traveling to Scotland and then just going to trying to find the plot of land. Like, they don't put anything in the video relating to like investigating any of my claims whatsoever. And the thing is, they could have actually gone to Scotland and talked to like the Lord Lions, the people in Scotland who actually give out the titles. They could have talked to like a real estate agent in Scotland. They could have talked to like a lawyer in Scotland and be like, hey, is Established Titles legit? Are they actually giving out titles? Can they actually be selling you this land? They did not do any of that. And the real reason they didn't do any of that is because if they had talked to any people of any legitimacy in Scotland, they would have agreed with me saying, you know, Established Titles is a scam. So of course they left all of that out of the video. They actually only talked to 2 people in Scotland in the video.
Edinburgh, okay. What does it mean to be a lord?
A lord?
Yeah.
It means you have a castle.
It means you have a castle. Oh shit. Are there multiple different layers of being a lord? Like back in old time, could a landowner be called a lord?
Yeah, in Scotland it'd be called a laird.
A laird. Okay. Is laird and lord the same thing? Yeah. Essentially. So if I own a piece of land in Scotland, technically, according to old customs, I could be a laird.
And what's going on? What's happened?
We're learning about the souvenir plots that are sold in Scotland, where people from all over the world can become a laird because they own a 1 square feet of land. Yeah, exactly. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, my grandmother has one. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
so
very
she's
cool.
a lord.
You can be
exactly.
You can be male or female and be a lord.
Yeah, you gifted. Well, you'd be a lady.
Lady, yeah.
So you say your grandma?
Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law.
Where's she from?
Edinburgh. She's passed away now, but she was given one as a gift. Yeah. So you get a certificate to say that you own a piece of land. You don't own a piece of land.
Yeah. You knew it was a novelty.
Yeah.
You knew it was a souvenir or something.
Yeah.
You didn't expect. She didn't think that she owned.
No, she was never going to pitch up there and live there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Interesting.
She was a lady.
Yeah, and the way they do it is they conserve the land. So it's basically putting money into conservation.
It's a bit like buying a star for someone.
Yeah.
Naming a star after someone.
Yeah, exactly. If I went to the bank and said I'm a lord, they'd say no, you're not. Right.
No, it's a title that's passed down.
From family?
From your family, yeah.
If you have enough money, do you become a lord?
You could, I think the Houses of Parliament have lords.
Okay.
And they're generally people with some money, yeah.
Ah, okay. So there's a couple different ways to get lordship. Interesting. Well, thank you. That's the first boots on the ground.
So they're talking to this guy, explaining this, and then the one guy, I think his name's the Muscle, right? He then goes, "Oh, but your grandma was actually a lady, right?" So they don't even understand at all what they're talking about. Take a look.
The souvenir plots that are sold in Scotland, where people from all over the world can become a laird because they own a 1 square feet of land. Yeah, exactly. That's a thing, right?
Yeah, my grandmother has one. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
very
she's
cool.
a lord. You can be
exactly.
You can be male or female and be a lord.
Yeah, you gifted. Well, you'd be a lady.
Lady, yeah.
So you say your grandma?
Yeah. Well, my mother-in-law.
Where's she from?
Edinburgh. She's passed away now, but she was given one as a gift. Yeah. So you get a certificate to say that you own a piece of land. You don't own a piece of land.
Yeah. You knew it was a novelty.
Yeah.
You knew it was a souvenir or something. You didn't expect. She didn't think that she owned.
No, she was never going to pitch up there and live there.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Interesting.
She was a lady.
Yeah.
She was a lady. Yeah.
So the guy, again, I think his name's the Muscle, does not understand this conversation at all. He has no clue what is happening.
I can tell you, dealing with Kat, it's definitely not a scam, and she's not a scam artist. She actually genuinely, I think, with her heart, is happy to do this, and it's a really cool experience.
You know a scammer when you see one.
Yeah, I know a scammer when I see one.
The other guy is explaining, the other guy's talking to the old guy, "You're not actually a lord and lady, right?" And he's like, yeah, you're not a lord and lady. The Muscle goes, "But she was a lady, right?" Nothing makes any sense in this video at all. It really is the worst attempt at a PR, type of cover-up I have ever seen.
Okay, but what about the implication of land ownership? Do you own the land? Now again, putting aside the issue of whether established titles makes this particular claim that you are actually buying the land, are you actually buying the land? Well, established titles has just under 200 acres. Now I looked around and rural land in Scotland can cost about $10,000 per acre. So with respect to the 1 foot by 1 foot parcels, no, you don't own the land. It's too small to be registered in Scotland and get a deed for it. Instead, you get a contractual dedication from established titles. This means basically nothing. It's like carries with it the right to use the title of laird, lord, or lady. Given that some websites claim that the Land Registration Scotland Act of 1979, quote, removes the normal requirements to register your land, thus permitting the sale to take place under contract law, the keeper would like to clarify her position on this subject. A souvenir plot is defined in the Land Registration Scotland Act of 1979 as a piece of land which, being of inconsiderable size or no practical utility, is unlikely to be wanted in isolation except for the sake of mere ownership or for sentimental reasons or commemorative purposes. The keeper is required to reject an application for registration in the land registry if the land to which it relates meets the description of souvenir plot. However, the fact that the keeper is obliged to reject the registration does not necessarily mean that ownership can be obtained by some other means. A real, at most, is a personal right, a contractual right against the actual landowner of established titles. You do not get a real ownership of interest. That is, you don't own the land. Established titles is making a contract with you that they won't develop your tiny portion of the land and will record your name in their own private registry. You know what? They're actually making land NFTs. That's basically what they're doing. And then Their website states right in front, become a lord today. And that's not technically true. You can't become a lord. The implication is that Established Titles has found this one weird trick, this funny little legal loophole that lets you become Scottish nobility. But implications are not necessarily false advertising. And there is subsequent language that claws this back further down on the website. And they say that it's based on, but not necessarily following, an ancient Scottish custom. And they say that it's a purchase for a personal dedication for a souvenir plot of land, and you may choose to title yourself with the title of Lord, Laird, or Lady. And it's true that they will dedicate, whatever that means, a plot of land to you. They imply that you own the land, though they don't outright say that. And that historic custom language is weird, though, where landowners have been long referred to as lairds, the Scottish term for lord, with the female equivalent being lady. I mean, in what sense? You're not really buying the land, so why is this custom even relevant or being displayed on the website? I mean, obviously, we know why it's there, but syntactically, what is it doing? But look, there are good arguments on both sides here. From Established Titles' side, the purchaser does get certain rights related to their plot of land. Yip explains that should Established Titles ever attempt to sell the land that your square foot is on, you can sue them. While you don't actually get a deed or a plot registration, by possessing some contractual rights over the square, you do, to some degree, own that land. Now, the bit about becoming a lord is a fun premise, but it's pretty silly once you realize that it would mean that literally anyone that owned land in Scotland would be a lord or a lady, which doesn't make any sense. That leads into one of the best offenses, which would be that it's so ridiculous on its face that no one would be confused about what they were buying. No one seriously thought that they were actually going to become Scottish nobility.
I hated the Colonel with his wee beady eyes.
And their website is pretty clear about implying a real noble title, but never actually saying it, and then, you know, having lots and lots of disclaimers to claw that back anyway. But it's funny, you know, once I started researching Established Titles, I started getting tons of targeted advertising. And in this case, it was actually very helpful. In these 2 targeted ads that I received, there were even bigger gaps between what was advertised and what consumers were actually getting.
When you buy land in Scotland, you are legally referred to as a lord or lady. So this, I bought a square foot of land where they're going to plant a tree. So you are legally referred to as a lord or lady.
The advertisements state with 0 qualifications that you will own a specific unit of land in Scotland with your purchase and become a lord. That advertisement has nothing about getting a contractual right to a dedication. And the ad also implies causation between buying a piece of land, false, and then becoming a lord. Also false. But in fairness, Established Titles' terms and conditions clarify these claims on the website in small print, saying, quote, the purchase of a title pack from Established Titles does not constitute or trigger a transfer of ownership over that souvenir plot or any part of the land in the legal sense. And the website also describes this Lord package as, quote, a fun novelty product, though it is pretty sneaky that they titled their products a lordship package and a ladyship package without actually bestowing a lordship or a ladyship. But and again, the clear implication of Established Titles advertisements is that if you pay them money, you will literally become a lord or a lady. And in fact, in the FAQ section of Established Titles' website, the company encourages purchasers to refer to themselves as lords or ladies on official documents, including credit cards and airline tickets. Now, I got a hold of the creator brief that Established Titles gave to various YouTube creators when they were running Established Titles sponsorships. And in that brief, Established Titles says specifically that the creator can't say that you can change your name on your passport or when applying for bank loans. And as the CEO confirmed in an interview, the reason is because there isn't a drop-down menu when you're choosing your options on a passport.
In most common law jurisdictions, you can title yourself however you want to title yourself, as long as you're not, as long as you're doing it in good faith and you're not using it to try to get a bank loan or try to get someone to invest like way more than they would have, you know, trying to make yourself seem trustworthy and make someone else basically give you funds for that by using using the lord or lady title. But if you're doing it in good faith, if you're putting it on like a plane ticket or a credit card, you can technically call yourself whatever you want to call yourself. Very specifically, you can title yourself however you want to title yourself.
But if it's not actually possible, why do you need to warn people not to do that?
They claim that they prove that Established Titles is a legit company. It's not a scam at all, guys. I was wrong. Not only me, but Legal Eagle, an actual lawyer who also made a video saying that Established Titles is a scam. He's wrong too, guys. An actual practicing lawyer is wrong, but the 2 Diesel brothers, they're right. They got everything right.
And in the November 2022 interview with a British YouTuber, Katarina Yip states that Established Titles has always classified this Lord Lady package as a novelty item.
We've always been very clear on the website that this is a novelty item. And I think that the language really hasn't changed since day one.
But there are some problems with this defense. In that brief, they include a section on common errors to avoid. And section 2 says, quote, the phrase royalty or nobility. Our certificate is based on a historic Scottish custom of calling landowners lairds, lords, or ladies. It does not grant you the right to rule or make you a member of any royal family. Our certificates also do not grant you peerages of the United Kingdom. Now, first, I think that there's an argument to be made that the reason that they have to tell creators not to say this is because they know that they are creating a lot of confusion in the marketplace. Now, but a second problem with this defense is that the content creators who have been sponsored by Established Titles often use the word officially or real in the context of the lordship, as in officially a lord or now I'm a real lord.
Thanks to an old Scottish custom means that you or the person you're buying the land for officially becomes what's known as a laird. That's a lord or lady for us modern English speakers.
You could officially become a lord or a lady too.
I am a 100% authentic Scottish lord.
This official certificate making you a real lord or lady.
I think they use that language, which is not included in the talking points, because that's kind of what it seems like they're selling. And I suspect that they were confused and or misled. And like all sponsors, Established Titles has a duty to supervise the sponsorship integration, at least the part of the video that they have specifically sponsored. And according to the creators that I've talked to, they do review every video before it goes live. This is because companies are legally responsible for the portions of the videos that they sponsor and the words that those creators say in that context. In other words, when a creator says Established Titles will make you a real lord or you'll officially become a lord, they own that language, even though it's arguably contrary to the provided talking points.
I land in Scotland, you are legally referred to as a lord or lady. So this, I bought a square foot of land where they're going to plant a tree. So you are legally referred to as a lord or lady.
Can you guess how I became a lord at just age 19?
No.
I would probably have to guess that you inherited the position because your father before you.
Actually, Established Titles sells a title that can officially make you a lord or a lady. On top of this, since you're officially a lord or a lady, you have dedicated land in Scotland. You will literally get a certification that makes you a lord or a lady. Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Scotland! I love it. I've always wanted to be a lady.
Wait, lady muscle.
Come on, lady muscle.
AKA Kegel, let's go.
Kegel Hoskins. And who you hear laughing in the background, that woman, she actually, I can't remember what her position is with Established Titles, but she's one of the people that run that business.
See that, lady muscle? Came full circle. Let's skedaddle.
This plot, thanks to all our lords and ladies, we're able to conserve even more land, and we'll go there tomorrow.
That's where Diesel Dave and the Muscle seem to think they've got this idea that they might be
saying Diesel Dave and D Spark or whatever the crap they want to call themselves. They didn't take their own money and go out here. Established Titles took them out here. I mean, they made a 25-minute ad to try and convince his viewers that they weren't being scammed and made gullible suckers out of. And then lets people to go to not have to work a regular job.
They probably have purchased, they do work with third-party trees. The CEO explains what they actually do, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, buying land and then contracting to never develop it. But when asked about consumer confusion, the CEO waffles for almost a full minute trying to dance around all of the confusion.
Do you think that there is a little bit of unclearness in terms of what it is? Because essentially you guys are the lords and ladies of that land. You're the ones who own it. So do you think there is a little bit of misunderstanding or miscommunication, do you think, maybe to the audience as to what their true status is around that? Because I feel like a part of it does rely on individuals knowing the laws around this, and not everybody does. I certainly didn't.
That's a really fair question. So I think we're very clear about that in our FAQs. We talk about how souvenir plots work and how we take our obligations to our lords and ladies very seriously. So I wouldn't say that we are the like lords and ladies of the land. We are the title holders. That's a thing, like legally. We can't do what we want with it. So, now that we've contractually entered, now that we've entered into a contractual obligation to specific people, or the stuff that normally, let's say, flows with owning or being the title holder of a plot purely doesn't apply here. So I understand what you're saying about it perhaps like I understand what you're saying about are the customers the real owners if you own the title, but I think the way we see it is we take our contractual obligations extremely seriously.
No, I commend this.
I just think that that's probably one of the parts that's a little bit confusing, because there's some people, I mean, even people who may have purchased through myself, who has felt like, oh, I thought like there might have been like, even if I can't really use it, there might have been a little bit of legitimacy behind it.
Now, I've seen a lot of people criticize established titles, saying that if you really cared about environmental causes, you would just skip established titles altogether, and sure. But let's talk about orders of magnitude here. Now, as I said before, I'm guessing that the average card value is about $100. It costs a maximum of $1 per tree to plant a tree, so you're talking about roughly 1 to 2% of the revenue of this company going to tree planting. The less than 200 acres that Established Titles owns is roughly 0.3 square miles. Not 3 square miles, 0.3 square miles, in a part of Scotland that doesn't see that much development anyway. So let's be real here. Established Titles is far more of a money-making venture than it is an environmental charity.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I can confirm that I am currently on my plot here in Aberdeenshire, Scotland.
Now, nowhere in my video, nowhere in Legal Eagle's video, nowhere in anyone's video, I think, that talked about Established Titles being a scam, did anyone ever claim that the land didn't exist. I have never said Established Titles, they're using made-up fake land. It's not actually there. So the fact that you went and stood on it does not prove anything. My claim was that they don't actually sell you land, which is true. This guy actually says it in the video. They don't actually sell you land. It's not they're real. And you don't actually become a lord and lady, despite telling people in their ads multiple times, which I showed their Facebook ad, where they say that you legally become a lord and lady if you buy their plot of land. All of that, they do not disprove any of those claims at all. His only argument is that he went to Scotland and stood on the piece of land that he bought from Established Titles, so now that proves that they are a legit company. This is the dumbest argument I have ever seen on the internet, ever.
This piece of land right here is mine. And when I say mine, it's not legally mine like I already told you. Hey, Established Titles, I've got that partnership with you guys, remember? Where you own that land and you carved out that little chunk for me? Don't do anything with it. Leave it alone forever. And they have to. And if they don't, I get my money back and I can probably go after them somehow.
How you reckon you're going to go after them? They're in Scotland. I mean, yeah, you can, because other YouTubers will wind up paying for it, but the rest of us that don't even make 6 figures a year, how are we going to sue somebody in Scotland and get anything out of it? Joker. Doing anything to protect their sponsor. These guys are so greasy and dirty. They don't care anything about you. They just care about getting your money. And when he was on this plot here, he didn't show you with the GPS or anything like that. He did when they first entered the property, but you didn't see any labels or anything verifying that that was old Scotland or nothing.
So is Established Titles a scam? I mean, it seems like it, at least colloquially. A scam is defined as a dishonest scheme, a swindle. So probably, it seems like there's some dishonesty there.
They say both the Heavy D Sparks and the Muscle, both by their own admission, say that they're not very smart in the video, which I'll show clips of in just a second.
I'll say this too. We do a lot of stuff with people who do scam us. Sure. Me personally, I get scammed a lot. Yeah, and spending out here in Scotland with Kat, with this company, actually trying to debunk it or find out if it's a scam, I can tell you, dealing with Kat, it's definitely not a scam. And she's not a scam artist. She actually genuinely, I think with her heart, is happy to do this, and it's a really cool experience.
You know a scammer when you see one.
Yeah, I know a scammer when I see one.
The idiot.
And I will say this, if nothing else,
if you know a scammer when you see one, why have you gotten scammed so many times, dummy?
You know what I feel like? I feel like I'm in Peter Pan.
Aquaharney Southwood.
You can be male,
exactly.
You can be male or female and be a lord.
you gifted. Well, you'd be a lady.
Lady, yeah.
A lady.
So you say you're
She was a lady.
Yeah. She was a lady. Yeah.
So the guy, again, I think his name is the Muscle, does not understand this conversation at all.
If you guys want, I'll just kind of put my blessing on your land. I also went pee back over there, but that was on Diesel Dave's neighborhood and Hans's neighborhood, not yours.
The idiot.
And what's been cool is working with Kat throughout this process. You can see that she legitimately treats this as if it's like her like final science project at school. Like she's got all the parts and pieces, and she's so careful about making sure that it's done right. It's been pretty cool to see. So congratulations, Kat. You've built something very
Thank you.
Because Heavy D Sparks is actually good friends. He's actually friends with Trevor Milton. Now, if you don't know who Trevor Milton is, he was the CEO and con artist of the company called Nikola Motors. Nikola Motors came out a few years ago. They said they were going to be releasing, I think it was a hydrogen semi-truck that was going to revolutionize. It wasn't electric, it was hydrogen. And it later came out, I did a video on this. Trevor Milton actually was lying to people. The vehicle that they showed at an event wasn't actually a functioning vehicle. They took it up a hill with a tow truck and then just let it roll down a hill. And Trevor Milton actually got sued. And Heavy D was actually a big promoter of the Nikola company. He was actually promoting their Badger, their truck, which is another product they were working on. But it's you know, this guy was promoting a company that later turned out to have a CEO that was very, very fraudulent. Now, Heavy D Sparks actually went on a podcast and actually talked about his connection to Trevor Milton and actually doubled down after Trevor Milton was sued and actually doubled down and tried to defend his friend, saying he believed the allegations against Trevor Milton were not true.
A buddy of mine started a company called Nikola Motors. Nikola was basically electric semi-truck company, and then he came to me in 2020 and said, hey, I want to release a pickup truck, let's take it to the market. And then that same year they were going public. They accused him of like blatant scam and this and all these terrible things, which I disagree with. Trevor's been under investigation for the last 2 years. His trial finally happened beginning of October. Basically, the accusations were that Trevor and the company were making false statements about how far advanced the technology was. And there's all sorts of things you can see online about what he said and what he didn't say. In my opinion, it was a CEO trying to rally the troops and get people excited about the company. But
now, what's really funny is that just a few weeks after Heavy D Sparks went on defending his friend Trevor Milton, saying, I don't think he was actually wrong, I don't think he did anything wrong, Trevor Milton was actually convicted on 3 counts of securities fraud. Yeah, he's in big trouble now. He's in very, very big trouble. So this guy is convicted at this point. Trevor Milton, not Heavy D Sparks. So this guy, Heavy D Sparks, doubled down defending Trevor Milton, and now he's doubled down defending established titles. This guy doesn't seem to ever back away from a product, even when it's confirmed that, you know, it's a scam.
This is something, now that I've been here and done the whole process, I 100% would have bought this without having to deal with any of this. You know, it's a cool idea, and I'm gonna go back to America and say I own a little bit of Scotland and I'm a lord.
It's a conversation starter.
Yeah.
No, you don't own any piece of Scotland. It's a souvenir, like, you know, buying some dirt or something, except you didn't get any dirt at all. You got a piece of paper. That's what you own, is the paper and the delusion. You own that. And that's for people that are really, really tiny. Telling people you're a lord. How stupid. People and their titles, it's pathetic. And I mean all titles, whether you got a PhD or an MD. What's wrong with you? Doesn't your life have enough substance that you feel like you're important enough in your position in life that you need somebody to scam you with a piece of paper that you're a lord so you feel better about yourself? It's really sad.
Is it illegal? Well, there are some good arguments to that effect. And look, Established Titles is not the only one out there. There's a million of these different companies. HighlandTitles.com, ScotlandTitles.com, all direct. And defenders have said it's only as much of a scam as the Name a Star registries or NFTs. To which I say, correct. Most of those are scams as well. And the funny thing is, on the internet, everyone always screams class action lawsuit, and class action lawsuit never makes sense in the context that people think it does. But here, If people were deceived, that is exactly the kind of thing that actually would work as a class action. Except buried in the small print in the terms of service on establishedtitles.com is a class action arbitration waiver. Though I do question whether that would be enforceable in this context.
Thanks for watching this video, and I want to glorify my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and I pray that He richly bless and guide your families. If you don't know who I'm talking about, check out sharingthetruthandlove.com and click on the Salvation tab and learn about Jesus Christ and how to be born again. The Lord is coming back, and if you're not born again and saved, His wrath will abide on you. It's real easy to escape the wrath of God. Just love His only begotten Son, the Lord Jesus Christ, who is also God, manifest in the flesh. Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos on my YouTube channel. You can find it at patrickthebaptist.com. It goes straight there. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.
And the real kicker here is, since Diesel Dave and the muscle here still aren't lords or ladies, whatever you identify as.
I'm a lady.
Amazing. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick explanation, since you guys are going to be like new lords and ladies of this plot. So it's actually super close to Edinburgh. And if anyone else is interested in getting a plot around you guys, you can actually take the bus to the main road and walk like 20 minutes. Wow. So it's like really nice for people who
just want a little summer bit of a getaway for you.
Yeah.
Established Titles got caught. They got caught with their pants down. They've changed their website, and they've since changed their website again. They now have the funniest gift of 2022 on all of their titles, right? They wouldn't need to do that if they had already, put all the information there. It was already very accurate to begin with. They wouldn't have to heavily alter their site to now make it even more clear that it's just a joke. So they got caught with their pants down.